are you? Are you in Bombay, India, abroad right
I'm
now?
in Bangkok for the last couple of months.
Oh, yeah, you've been shooting, right, for that aliens?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. How is
yeah.
it going?
It's going really well. Yeah, it's been insane, honestly. Every day on set is like being at the amusement park because it's so new, everything for me.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the world building is so incredible. I'm just so fascinated by everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about your own character in Aliens. Tell us about what are you really playing, and tell us more about it so that we know.
I'm not allowed to speak much about it, but
Okay.
it's basically an expansion of Ridley Scott's film,
Yeah.
and they're adding a few more details to it and playing one of the key characters in season one.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
And when do we see it going on the floors, like as in really coming out
I think by next year.
by next year? Great. How long will you be there in Bangkok now for? So for how long is
Uh
this?
till July, mid of July
Okay.
almost. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've
Right.
ever spent so much time in a single city while filming,
Right.
which is
How is
crazy.
Bangkok? Do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Do you like the
Yeah,
place?
it's
I
really
mean,
nice.
doesn't like Thailand. Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways it's very similar to Bombay. Yeah, the pace of it,
Yeah.
it's a bit more international, obviously, because but I think it's the pace of it, the spirit of it, how alive it is even at night. You always find places that are open 24/7.
Right.
Um, yeah, but it's a very interesting city. And I live in a part of it which is quite centrally located, so I can travel to, like, a place like Chatuchak, which is on one side, and to the other place, which is by the river. Yeah,
Right.
and I'm finding my pockets of nature within the city where I can kind of like also feel like I'm in nature, not
Of
completely
course.
in like a concrete city.
I've always been fascinated with your versatility, both on screen and off screen. We get to know that you're so good into music, with music also, as you are with acting, and then obviously you want to now get into direction as well. But I want to talk about music, your love for music, and of course Bechaini, which we've all been talking now of late.
My love for music, I think, is passed on to me hereditarily. I think it's something that's in my gene pool, both from my parents, from
Yeah,
either of my parents' side.
yeah,
My paternal grandmother used to write poetry, used to compose. But all of this was being done in a very small village. So, I mean, it's not like she was famous or anything, but
yeah.
she had that skill set. And same, I think, from even my maternal side, my mom's aunts, some of them play the veena, some of them sing. So I think it's been in the
Wow.
gene pool, and I think I was the first one who was lucky to sort of um, get the right kind of opportunities to do something with it. And I mean, in the sense that also to commercially be able to do something with it,
Yeah.
to put it in the right words. But I've always been into music since I was born. I think started learning when I was 4.5, 5.
So
Um,
you started with a musical instrument, or do you start learning how to like vocal,
no,
vocal?
just Hindustani classical vocals.
Right, right,
And I learned under the Prayag Gharana. So there are two Gharanas, Prayag and Gandharva.
right.
And initially I trained under the Prayag Gharana when I was in Jamshedpur.
Wow.
And I learned under two different gurus. And then when I
Yeah.
moved to Mumbai, I went to Ajivasan and used to learn under Padma Vadkar. And
Acha.
I think somewhere in my second year, or maybe the first year of
Yeah.
learning itself,
Yeah.
think she saw some potential in me, encouraged me
Yeah.
to sing for a couple of films in chorus parts. And then once I was 15, the move to Mumbai, I think kind of like, I don't know, I just, I think everybody reaches a phase or like a stage in life where they get bored of something. And I think for
Yeah.
me, I was just looking for something more exciting when I was 15, something more, I guess, relevant and appealing to my age
Right.
and to my time, I guess. And then
Yeah.
I started venturing into punk rock and post rock and prog metal, and sang for a couple of bands in college. Uh, yeah, I think I've had like an entire circle with music where, I think at 22 or 23, I got back in touch with classical and realized that that essentially forms classical is the roots, for me. Not just in terms of music, but in terms of like just the way of life. And that's when I started doing my riyaz again and started trying to write again. And I wrote a lot. I, scribbled a lot on like many pieces of paper through all of them. And um, and then Bechaini was one of the songs I wrote, which was actually, me and Oaf Kabir, who did the music for Kho Gaye as well. We
Yes,
were just
yes.
sitting and chatting about something one day, and I was talking about some childhood anecdote of mine where, I was in love with this girl, and both
Yeah.
of us started trading stories, and that's how we wrote Bechani. Like we were literally walking on the terrace, talking about it, and constructing lines that could be part of the song, and just wrote it down,
Mm.
and then composed it.
Wow. Okay. So it's got a memory from your own past, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think everything is has to be personal. No, if it's not personal,
Yeah.
it yeah, somehow
Yeah.
it's the idea of, I mean, I'm sure I will sometime in the future, and I don't want to say something and like, but I feel like for me, I have to sing what I write, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it just you connect with it more and it makes more sense to you.
So, and then in the middle somewhere, of course, you also thought that you could act well. And how do you see yourself as an actor? Like, how did you train yourself to be a good actor? I don't know.
But I think I've just been, I've always been a keen observer and I've been very curious. I've always been driven by curiosity in my life.
Right.
And it's not got anything to do with acting but in general, in like just the way I lead my life, I guess. So I don't know why I was acting for the first 7 8 years, to be honest with you. I don't have an answer. I was just acting. I was on autopilot. Um, but and I didn't know if I was good at it. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. I was just doing it. I guess it was. And most of my acting was also like I was doing ads, I wasn't doing like maybe once a year, once every couple of years, I would get a small role in some film, some show. But I really
Right.
started enjoying it, I think, after I went to drama school. I've trained myself as an actor between 2016 to 17. I went to DSM Mumbai. And
Hmm.
at DSM is when I started actually questioning why I'm doing what I'm doing and what are the
Right.
kind of stories that I like and what are the kind of plays that I like to read, what are the kind of films that I like, and
Hmm.
like all these different techniques that we use to, to understand the person that we were playing, whether it was life
Yeah.
study or animal study. And I was then when it became like an amalgamation of like these different techniques, and when I started seeing how they actually worked in the
Yeah.
process of transformation and becoming somebody else, when your voice
Yeah.
changes, your body changes, everything changes. And that is what started, I think, propelling me towards it when I was like, wow, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously I was acting before this as well, before that as well, but I think I got some clarity about why I was doing what I was doing.
Right. Right. And were there mentors who, from the
Yeah.
industry, and who you really think have helped you in kind of shaping up your skills? Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call them mentors, but I feel like my experiences of working with certain people definitely strengthened my idea and gave me more strength in general to pursue acting. I feel working with Anurag Kashyap, working with Sajid Ali, um, especially these two directors, and also Rukh when I did my first film with Pooja and Atanu, were very
Right.
close to me. And
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like all these experiences working with these people and how these films shaped up, how they helped me figure myself out as a person. I
Yeah.
guess all
Yeah.
of that helped me. But I think drama school in itself, like I had such amazing teachers, and I learned so much just by listening to them speak and then watching them perform,
Yeah.
because all of them are amazing actors, actors like
Yeah.
Foize Jalali, Pooja Saroop, Sheena Khalid. Deepal Doshi, Yuki Elias, Akshay Shimpi. These are all actors who work a lot on stage. They work a lot on camera. They've all trained at acting schools from in different parts of the world. And I just, yeah, I think I learned the most under all these teachers at drama school.
So now going forward, is there a dream director, or you would like to, work with, or a period drama film, that kind of thing that you would like to do? Tell me, what is it? What your wish list? Tell me something from your wish list which would like to yeah,
Well, it's a
that would be
long
nice
wish
to know.
list, but I would
Yeah,
love
like
to work with Ari Aster,
okay.
and I would love to work with Jordan Peele, and I would also love to work with Dev Patel and
Right.
Mindy
Yeah, yeah,
Kaling and Riz Ahmed. Um, I would love to work with Vikramaditya Motwane, Zoya Akhtar, Farhan Akhtar. I
see,
would love to
yeah,
be directed by him. I think he's
yeah,
such an amazing storyteller.
yeah,
There's so many
yeah.
people.
So in recent times, there's so much that Bollywood has offered as any particular film or series or whatever, like any particular content you watched over and over again that you particularly liked that you want to tell us about.
I want to talk about. I mean, The Hard is kind of stuck in my head since the time I watched it. And I'm a big Vijay Verma fan, and I'm a big Reema Kagti
Okay, oh,
fan.
that was good. Yeah, Dahad, na
And
Dahad you
it's
said.
The Hard. Yeah, The
Yeah,
Hard
yeah,
on Amazon
yeah,
Prime.
yeah, yeah. Oh, we all
And I know
loved
it
it.
came a while ago, but
Yeah, but
I love
yeah,
that show so much, and I love
yeah,
all the performances in it so much. I
yeah,
don't, and I
yeah,
remember listening to Gulshan. We were in a round table together, and he said something so basic yet so sensible. Where he was asked about how he played the character, the inspector that he played in The Hard, and he said that, well,
yeah,
I just didn't think of him as an inspector, because the moment you think of him as an inspector and as somebody who has a uniform, you suddenly tend to take him very seriously, and suddenly
yeah,
your delivery changes, and now you are an inspector because you've seen an
yeah,
inspector all your life.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but
yeah,
when you just see him as a human being and just as a person, as a dude who's just doing a job, has a family, has a daughter who
yeah,
doesn't listen to him, kind of a rebel,
yeah,
has a wife who
yeah,
he's had an arranged marriage with, suddenly you
yeah,
start peeling different layers of his personality, and of course so
yeah,
much of it is in the writing, but I guess, and I feel like it's because of actors like Gulshan Devai and Vijay Verma. I feel like that I'm so inspired. I feel so inspired, and I feel so lucky that
yeah,
I get to call
yeah,
them my friends or my contemporaries, and like I get to have conversations with them and listen to them, and it's so
yeah.
amazing, really, just to see how much they humanize their characters. You know,
True. Which of your own films might would be the highlight of your career? Might have really played a prominent role in maybe kind of pushing your career forward. According to you, let's
White Tiger.
White Tiger, of course,
Yeah.
undoubtedly, undoubtedly, right?
Well, of course, it did what it did for me. What a good movie does for any good
Yeah,
actor, I guess. It
yeah,
helps him
yeah,
to get his name out there for people within the industry and outside the industry to know about him. But I feel
yeah,
more importantly, what it did is it gave me a lot of faith and confidence in myself and in my ability as an actor, because I feel like a lot of times actors deal with imposter syndrome, and they constantly feel like they're bad, and like what they're doing is not, what the choices they are making are not the right choices. And I think that's a lifelong process, and it's a complex that you deal with. But I guess that there is a certain amount of confidence and faith that you do need yourself, and you do need to back yourself up as an actor, and I guess that White Tiger did that for me. um I also, like, sometimes, when I think about like the crazy journey that I went on before the film started, whether it was living in the village or working for the man at Saket, where I was, doing what I was doing. It's almost like I'm watching a movie on my own life, like when I sit and think about it. It feels so unreal that all of that happened just 3 years ago. And I remember we were in December, and me and Rajbhai were shooting for a montage scene where he gets out of the car and he takes a suitcase to deposit money, and then he comes back with the suitcase, and I have my eyes on him and I'm chewing my nails while looking at him. That day was one of the first days when COVID hit in China. This was in 2019 December, and I remember the both of us talking about it, and we were like, "Oh, what is this new thing now? And is this going to be something that comes to India?" And we were both like, "Nah, we don't. It's something that'll probably be there. It's really sad, but it's probably something that'll be in China and stuff." And then 3 months, it was all over. So I remember these little snippets, these little incidents from set.
Okay, an
Yeah.
actress you would want to work with.
I would love to work with Alia and Vamika,
Okay,
and I would
okay.
also love to work with uh, Nimisha Sajayan, who I thought that a show that I was obsessed with recently is Poacher, that was made by Richie Mehta. I love that show
Right.
so much, and I love the actors in it so much.
Yeah,
Roshan, Nimisha, Devendu
yeah.
sir, they were all so good and so impactful in the parts that they played. And yeah, I'd love to work with
Right,
Nimisha. Yeah.
right. And tell me about your journey into direction.
You know,
What, when,
I haven't
how?
planned. I haven't planned that journey yet. It's an intention, and I've been writing
Right.
whenever I find the
Yeah.
time, and I feel like um, when I have some time off this project is when I will actually sort of change gears and really like push that thing out more, and start talking to people about how I can actually make it happen, find producers
Right.
and all of that. But it's a
Right.
journey. It's gonna be a bit before that happens.
Right. Superman of Malegaon, when do we get to see it?
This year, I'm not
Hmm.
sure which month, but this
Fingers
year
crossed.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
All right. All the best, Adarsh. It was fantastic talking to you. Thanks for talking to
Likewise,
the
Pooja.
week. Yeah, I
Likewise.
wish you the
Thank you.
very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you then.
Thanks.